All right, it's time to start. Thanks for coming, everybody. So this is the NI Robotics demo. My name is Chris Mulatto. I am a software engineer in LabVIEW R&D at NI, and I work on the LabVIEW Robotics product. So our demo, as you see, we have 4 robots, and their goal is to navigate through this little environment and build up maps, avoid obstacles, and communicate wirelessly with each other. And what you'll see once we start running is that the robots are going to move around, they'll come within proximity of each other and avoid each other, avoid obstacles, and they'll have some intelligent mapping and navigation. And then we'll talk about the software features and the hardware that we're using as we go on. The robots need to know where they are at any given time as they're moving. Normally, in a real outdoor rugged type system, we would have some sort of GPS. Unfortunately, in an indoor building, we can't really use GPS, so we have an overhead camera which can actually see the entire area. You can see me where I'm standing. It's got a really nice lens. And it is detecting the individual markers. That's why you see all these fancy colored markers on the robot, and figuring out where they are, how they're oriented, and sending information back to the robots wirelessly. So each robot knows where it is based on that imaging data and where the other robots are so that it can interact with them correctly. We're using the NI Robotics starter kit with some minor modifications. You'll see some other starter kits as they are originally floating around here throughout the week. We added a Wi-Fi router to each robot so they can talk to each other, as well as an Axis IP camera to the front so that you can see the teleout feed from the robot from the command center. And other than that, they're essentially the exact same hardware that we ship in the robotic starter kit. So let's get started with the demo. Go ahead and start them. I'll stay out of the way. So as you see the robots moving around, they are starting to build up some map data. And so Godfrey just pressed the button to clear the map. And now you see the robots are filling in white area where they've seen information, and all this data is being shared with all the robots, so they can come up with ideas of where to go to best optimize the search pattern. And they sometimes have some near misses, but for the most part they avoid hitting each other and avoid hitting the buildings, which are made out of Legos. The X's on the graph up there show where the robots are each trying to go, and they're color-coded. And the pink and red cells indicate the obstacles as the robots see them. And there we go.
Yeah.
That's a minor glitch. A minor glitch. Don't ignore that part. So these robots are doing low-level control on the wheels, but they're also performing the steering algorithms that are included in the robotics module, as well as obstacle avoidance algorithms, path planning to get from where they are to any other given point. And all those algorithms are based on the shipping software that we have in the LabVIEW Robotics module. Yeah, so as I said, most of the software that's running on these robots, aside from the specialty features to get them working interactively the way they are, is based on our shipping software. As we were developing this project, we were able to come up with a physics simulating engine to do some prototyping, so we could see how the robots would interact in a simulated virtual environment, and when they would collide and when they would get in some interesting situations without actually having to do it with the real hardware. So if you see over in this corner where I am, there's a simulation of the exact same demo running. The same control code that runs on the robot is running in the simulation environment. So it's a great way for us to do prototyping and change parameters on the fly. Okay? So right now the robots are moving around in a fully autonomous mode, but we can change the mode and operate them with the joysticks you see here. So anybody who wants to volunteer, I'm looking at you guys. If you want to drive the robots, go ahead and grab these game controllers.
Everybody's on go forward.
Yeah,